Good evening, everybody. It's another exciting evening of True Talk. Yep, so Tuesday is rainy season. I bet some of you are cold out there. But anyway, don't worry. We're going to keep you nice and warm this evening as we bring you another True Talk. And we have got the woman of the moment, Kemi Adeleke of KFA. Good evening, everybody. I think it's time that we got started as we all try and do what we got to do to be on our way to being a billionaire. Yes, so whether you're a billionaire in pounds, dollars, Naira, does it really matter? Money is money, whatever the color. So, I just wanted to start by saying good evening, everybody, and welcome to Mahogany Chat Room. You know, we're here every Tuesday, unfailingly, doing our thing, doing what we gotta do, and I'm having a little bit of issue here, but we shall be alright in a second. Okay, let's go manual. So anyway, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mahogany. Hey, KFAs just joined us. We'll be bringing her live in a second. Let's get our introductions out of the way. I don't know why I always do that. I always like to, as I'm about to start, do this clap. Anyway, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mahogany, aka Mr. Mahogany. And we're bringing you Mahogany True Talk, which is a weekly interactive show brought to you by Mahogany Productions and Events. And just in case you don't know, Mahogany Productions and Events is an experiential event and production company that handles production and events for clients. Our show likes to focus on everything and anything to do with the event industry. Yeah, so production, event management, hosts, music, food. We're bringing you the top guns of the industry like we are today. We've got Kemi online. So I'm very excited about having Kemi because, I mean, what she's been able to do with KFA is phenomenal. Anyway, enough talking about me. Let's get straight into business. Let's try and bring Kemi online now. Yes, so we're going to bring mega buster billionaires on the way to come and talk to us and tell us how she has built one of the biggest empires in Nigeria in terms of the event industry. So guys, you still got a few minutes. Tell your friends if they want to know how to build a business. Speak to this woman. Kemi, my sister,
yes.
How are you? I'm not happy with you. I'm not happy with you. I'm not happy with you.
You're not happy with me? What did I do?
You're just making so much money and you're not sharing. And you call me your brother. What is that? No, this kind of fake family. I don't understand. Seriously.
Good evening, Mr. Oyibade.
How are you, ma? How are you, ma?
I'm fine. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay.
Loud and clear. So,
good.
I agree to my Ogadi talk. Guys, this woman,
you're just making me laugh this evening.
Yeah, so don't be looking at her small stature and be thinking, who is this small girl? Oh? Hey, this girl is woman, anyone you want to refer her to. Big babe. Let me say bigs, and you know when you put the Z and you just press the Z. Big.
Oh boy.
Big just they go. Anyway, before we start the show, let me introduce you to everybody so that everybody has an idea of who you are. Kemi Adeleke is the CEO of KFA and has been managing the KFA brand, which has been in existence for over 25 years. Wow. And she's been in charge of it for just over 12 years, if I'm correct. She has a tested, proven, and has demonstrated history of working in the event space. Trust her, there's nobody that works in the event space that doesn't know Kemi. If they don't know Kemi, they know KFA. If they know KFA, then they know Kemi. So they go hand in hand. Anyway, with a large enterprise like KFA brand, Kemi has consistently proven her mettle as an extraordinary, extraordinary. We don't use that word lightly. Extraordinary businesswoman. When we look at how we see drive, we see determination, we see relentless desire. This woman, listen, guys, I think most of you think that there's a 24-hour clock. Yes, I know that for normal human beings, it's 24 hours a day. For Kemi, her own is 28 hours a day and counting. There's no such thing as a 24-hour clock. Okay, so you have to understand that. So
you're just making me laugh.
It's not surprised that she has risen to the heights that she is and taken KFA to where she is. So, guys, please big it up for Kemi of KFA. Big girl. At the bow, yeah, they honor you.
Mr. Everybody, you're just cracking me up this evening. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for that warm introduction. Wow. I was thinking, is he really describing me here?
You now. We didn't even know that you are president as well. And please, I need to add that he's also the president of the
Rental Professional Society of Nigeria. Yes, I am.
Now, with the great president, don't talking now. Madam President, you are welcome.
Please be nice to me this evening, Mr. Shola Oyebade.
Hey.
Be very nice with your questions.
Okay, so let me just make it clear so that you understand how this is. This is called true talk. So when you come and we ask you questions, say, well, I don't really want to say, but you know there's something like, say it.
I talk. I will talk. Trust me, I will talk. I will talk. I will say the way it is.
That's what we want to hear.
I'm going to say the way it is.
Because to run a billionaire business like yourself, I had to play tennis for you, billionaire, because that's the level you're at. Do you understand? It's billionaire level.
Should I say amen to that? Should I say amen to that?
Say amen.
Amen. Amen.
Listen, when we start talking about your inventory, you can tell us that your inventory is worth over $1 billion. So please let's talk. So, I don't really like these COVID questions, but I think it's very necessary in your case because you have such a big organization. I'm sure you're mentioning it when you're talking about your staff. You have an enormous workforce. So I think you have about, if not the biggest, one of the biggest workforce in the industry. How have you managed? How have they managed? I'm really scared. How has it been for you?
Good evening, everyone. Like Mr. Shola said, my name is Kemi and I run a company called KFA Events Limited. Mr. Shola has really hyped me up this evening. I have to go back and look at my profile of that. This hyping is too much. Well, COVID came. Nobody envisaged COVID. COVID came and COVID changed everything. COVID changed everything. The last, let's even start from the venue. The last time I had an event at the venue, the event space, was on the 21st of March.
You even know the date?
I know the date. I know the date. 21st of March. Now, you're coming from events of in a week. In a week, we do, when it comes even to the rentals, we're able to do at least like 50, 60 orders in a week. Now it's trickling down to 2, 3. And when I say 2, 3, orders of 20 chairs, 2 tables, 1 canopy. Some days ago, I had to slap myself on the face. Kemi, wake up. You have to do something about this. This can't continue. And what I decided to do was, we started on Monday, today's Tuesday, is to get 4 people from the front desk to aggressively start marketing to get that even 20 capacity orders. So I gave each person a target of 25 each. So if 25 times 4 can give me 100 orders of minimum of even 50,000 to 100,000 in a week, 100,000 per client, 100 times 1,000 times 100, that's already how many million there. So that's what we started yesterday, trying to tap into those small orders, because I mean, in the past I was just like 20 orders. There are times that people will even call me for 20. I'll just say, please just come and take it, just pay for transportation, we'll do the order for you, because it was so small, but this is the reality. Now you're talking of staff. As at March, I had 97. I had a meeting with my team last week Monday. Was it last week Monday? And I told everyone that they're no longer employees of the organization.
Sure.
I told them that, yes, it was a tough one for me to do. But I told them that they should also send in their letter of resignation. Up till this moment, nobody has turned in that letter. So they're hoping that we'll call them. So what we're doing right now is I retained about 20 out of my 97 staff strength. And because I have about 11 departments. I have 11 departments within the organization. So what we now do is, based on the type of event, we call in people to come in, and then we'll pay them based on the number of days that they come in to do the work. From the front desk to the operations, you have the electricians, you have the boys that are going to site to set up, you have the drivers, you have the maintenance, you have the store, cumulatively they make up the 97 people within the organization. But like I said, as it is right now, we're down to about 15. It's been a 4 months now. Yeah.
I mean, so you've taken quite a while though to make that decision, because we've been shut down. I mean, you're saying 25th of March, that's still April, that's still May, that's still 3 months of literally paying salaries without any income in. Because whether you want to look at it, your 20 chairs here and there has only been recent, I would estimate. How have you been able to cope financially? What strains has it put on your business? What advice could you give to other people that are possibly going through these same sort of dilemmas? How would you advise them to manage that situation?
Now, because of the way my business is, if you're running a business, you want to always have savings of at least 6 months in your account for unforeseen circumstances like this. I mean, nobody envisaged COVID. I had so many plans for 2020. I can't accomplish those plans now. So what we've done, month of March, month of April, month of May, we had to pay our staff salaries 50%. That's what I was able to do. Some we pay 30%, even without coming over to the office. It's quite a lot, because 97 is not a small number. It's quite a lot. If I had 10, 20 people.
Why, I'm reducing yours from 80%. I've been paying 80%. Okay, I'm cutting to 30%.
So if I had 15, 20 people, I probably would not ask them to stop work. I'll be fine. I'd probably even pay them in full. But then this staff, they come into the office and they're not doing anything because there are no events.
Yeah.
Do you understand? There are no events. They're just idle there. They even send messages to me, Ma, we're not doing anything at home. Can I come over to the office? And I tell them it's not even safe for you to come to the office, except you're living very close to the office environment. But then if you have to take public transport, it's better you stay at home. If we do need you, we'll tell you a day before to come over to the office. So I mean, this month of June, salary is due today. We have to pay the people on ground 50%. That's all we have to pay them. We have to pay them 50%. Even at that, even the 50%, they have dependents. They have their family members that are depending on them. So it's very tough. I mean, no doubt about it. It is very tough. It is very tough. But they do understand. They do understand.
Well, it's affected the entire industry. So to be fair, I mean, nobody could turn around and say KFA is being wicked. I mean, it's everybody that is in the same boat, and it's not even just like
one thing I must say here though is my staff are very important. They're the life wire of the organization. Without them, I don't have a KFA. That's the truth. So it pains me that even when I had that meeting, it was difficult for me to have that meeting with them. And I told them to come up with ideas that we can incorporate while we're still waiting. What can we do? I mean, I started, I'm sure you must have heard of this, the food market.
Yeah.
The food market, the early Momo food market. Let me share how that was birthed. It was about 6 weeks ago. I was just washing my face and I was just hearing early Momo. I was hearing farmers market. But the farmers market didn't sound well to my ears. So I was like, early Momo food market. That sounds really nice, you know? And then I posted on my WhatsApp status. I love using my WhatsApp. It's fantastic. If you don't use WhatsApp, please, I advise you to use your WhatsApp status. It's amazing. So I now posted there. And you won't believe it, Mr. Oyebade, the feedback and the response that I got actually spurred me to do the market. People were like, wow, 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 where did you come up with this idea? Truth be told, I could have, ignored the idea. But I posted it and the response was amazing. And then I went ahead with it. I started printing flyers. I was intentional about the advert. I posted to WhatsApp group. Anybody that sends me message, I'll tell them, please share on your status. Please come in. The first edition, we had 70 sellers. We had over like 1,000. Your wife was even there. She came as a buyer. She came in as a buyer because she's my friend. She's also my customer. She came in and it was to the glory of the Almighty. It was a beautiful one. We're planning the second one on the 4th of July now.
Okay.
For the second one now, we have I think about 90 sellers coming. Of course, putting in all the safety measures in place.
But are you
so
not? I mean, I like that idea, but I think there's a good point why I want to stop you here. All right.
Yes.
Because people need to hear this. Lagos State says you cannot have gatherings more than 20 people.
Yes.
Even if each stand had only one person, that is already 90 people. Explain to people what you had to do and how you have been able to stay within legal guidelines to be able to do what you have done.
Okay, good question. So for the first one, before I even decided to have the market, I had to get a permit. I had to get a permit from Lagos State Safety Commission. And they sent me the permit. When they asked me what was the purpose of the event, and I told them it was a market. Now let's bear this in mind that food is an essential product. The government did not ban us from going to the market. So the market is really for food. So that was an advantage for having the market. Now I got the permit and then we told everyone coming into the space that, okay, so for the first edition, we had just 2 people underneath each tent. Because I do rentals, I was able to set up canopies and we gave them 2 tables underneath each canopy with 2 chairs. And we told them at every point in time, they should ensure that they maintain the social distance. But before even coming into the space, we had the bouncers checking their temperature and we had the washing hand basin, the sinks at the entrance for people to wash their hands and to make use of the hand sanitizers. And we just kept on. And then we had like a hype guy who was always telling people to ensure they keep the 6 feet distance from each other. And then don't waste time at a particular stand when you want to buy things. We told each of the sellers to ensure they have sanitizer on their table, So we just tried as much as possible, and then no hugging, no kissing, things like that. We tried as much as possible. And also, interestingly, I invited La Sepa. So La Sepa came with a team of officials, and they were quite helpful. They went around ensuring that there was no contact whatsoever. I think it was, and we're trying to replicate that also on Saturday. We're not going to ask La Sepa and safety to come in, but we'll have our officials on ground to ensure that people actually adhere to all these rules,
I mean, it's a fantastic idea, and I think what we'll try and get from True Talk is for people to understand that just because there is COVID doesn't mean you cannot come up with new ideas. Does not mean you cannot rebrand yourself. You may not make as much money, but you're keeping your business going. You're keeping
running,
yourself busy.
absolutely.
You're making some small little change, and you never know. From this now, I'll be very surprised if Early Momo does not now become one of your events. Just like how we have Fashion Finance Africa. It's something that you now decide that, no, I'm going to keep doing it because it becomes so popular that people start to call you and say, Kemi, when is the next one? You need to do another one, It's true. My wife went 6 a.m. in the morning. I said, "You're on your own. There's no way I am getting up at 6 a.m. in the morning to go to any market." But they enjoyed it. I mean, I saw a lot of people from the industry that came out and supported you. But just looking at things now, yes, let's go back a little bit about your business, all right? Because,
Yes.
like I said in my intro, everybody knows KFA. You're just so big in Nigeria. It's just unbelievable.
You hype me so much.
But it's true now, Kevin. How, how did you get there? What did you have to do? I mean, I know the business started before you started. So give us a little bit of background, the
The
history,
background, okay.
how you got there, how you took over, and very importantly, what people want to know on Mahogany True Talker, what are the sort of challenges, what are the issues that you face? Because a lot of people look at you and say, it's okay for her, she's making money, she's famous, she's this, she's that. But you don't understand the struggle you went through because it wasn't always like this. So that's what we want to hear about.
It's actually still a struggle. Thank you for that. Like you said, it's a family business. I took over about 13 years ago from my mom. Of course, when I started it, I didn't even know what I was getting myself into, and that's the truth. I didn't have any formal business experience, so I had to be learning every day, and I'm still learning as I'm sitting here. I'm still learning. It took a toll on me, really, because for me, I like to do things right. I like to follow processes. I like to do things right. I mean, when I started, I must have started with maybe like 2-3 people, and when I say 2-3 people, these are people that talk to the customer, go to sites to do setups, and I mean, like, I research a lot. I read online. I always want to do it better. Let me just share one secret here. I never like customers complaining. I don't like it. So it was now part of me to ensure that everything we do, we did it well. And I had to imbibe that in our staff as well. So everybody coming to the office, they knew their roles and responsibilities. Every single person in each of the departments, it was documented. So anybody coming in, and I made sure that for every position we had multiple people, just in case one person decides, oh, I'm not going to show up today. That would not affect the running of the organization. So I mean, I'm going to spend the whole day here if I start telling you what I did every day and things like that. Of course, marketing. In terms of marketing, I was always marketing with our brochures. I would go to sites. I remember I would print flyers. I would go give to people on site. I would always go for our setups and introduce myself. From there, we were getting more customers, and then branding of our items. There's something I'm very particular with. Some people don't like it, but most, if not 90% of KFA products have the KFA name on them. So there's no way you would not see them, but it does help us because, for example, you go for an event and then you see the beautiful tent, or you see the beautiful marquee, or you see a beautiful chair, and then you don't have access to the host to even know, oh, who supplied this. But then by the time you see the name on it, or you can even go back online to Google and research about the company. So that has really helped us in terms of the branding. And then our trucks too. There's no way, and I always want the trucks to be attractive. So the branding that we do on the trucks too are very attractive. Your eyes love anything that is attractive. Your eyes will be endeared towards it. So we made sure that our trucks are attractive, so that when they're on the road, you will not even, you smile and then maybe take down the number. All those are strategies that we put in place that has really helped the business. And then we have a wild mix of products. There's a reason for a wide mix of products, so that, because it's not every time that we want a situation whereby when you come to KFA, you will get everything under one umbrella. We can't have all the products, but at least 70-80% of the products, you should be able to get it in-house. We were not doing decorations before. Decoration started maybe about 5-6 years ago, when mainly rentals. But then I just felt, because I love design, why don't we incorporate it into the business? And we started doing it. Not many people up to now even know that, but because our hands are full, before COVID, we're able to do some designs for people because I love beautiful spaces, you know, so that has helped us. So in the sense of the product mix, it's not every time someone is going to rent all the chairs that we have, but at least let the chairs be going out so they have a variety. Like we have over 50 types of chairs, for example, and they're not in small quantity, they're in huge quantity, you know, so it's a huge investment. You invest, but you make the money. I mean, just before the live this evening, somebody called this evening from Abuja and said she wants us to come to Abuja. I said, come to Abuja. I mean, I've heard that severally, but come to Abuja to come and set up for 40 people. I said everything I could to discourage that call this evening. Yes, because I have the fear of COVID. I mean, I don't want to expose the staff to COVID. I mean, they're going to be exposed the long distance to Abuja. They're going to be exposed to all sorts. I don't want them having issues. So I was trying to discourage her. Can you talk to so and so in Abuja to find out if they have the she wanted a transparent tent for 40 people. She said they didn't have a transparent tent in Abuja. Look at that. And saying I should come to Abuja, but I can't go to Abuja because I now told her, let's leave Abuja rental companies the way they are. I'm okay with Lagos market. You know, you understand? I'm fine with Lagos market. I'm fine with Lagos market. You know, so if we have any rental company in Abuja, maybe you need to invest in transparent tents because there's a market for it. Because we've had event planners in Abuja call us for marquees from Lagos, for transparent marquees. I mean, I've had transparent marquees for over 10 years. You know, and that's why you have to be very innovative in this business. You need to do your research. What will people like? The country where I come from, the Lagos where I'm used to, Nigerians love beautiful things. They love beautiful things. They want to hear, oh, they have the best this. They want to come and use it for their events. Do you understand? They love it. And once you know the mindset of your customers, give them what they want. You know, you need to give them what they want. So those are things that have really helped my business.
So, Ike Tiriba, I think, I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly, but they asked, what is KFA's vision?
Say that again.
They said, what is KFA's vision? What's your vision for KFA?
The vision of KFA is just to be the best event rental company in Nigeria. That's the vision, really. You know,
as simple as that.
To
Guys,
be the best.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have questions, please, and you want to ask Kemi stuff, grab her while you can, ask her questions, suck her brain dry, take out all that knowledge so that you can go and use it and give her a run for her money. But it will take you many years to catch up with her. So we know that if we were to look at your inventory, I think your inventory is well over R1 billion. So for people that are listening, basically what we mean by inventory, we're not talking about cash in the bank. We're talking about all her stock, her chairs, her tables, her decorations, her pots, her tents, her vans, everything, excluding staff, excluding money in the bank, everything that she has in her warehouses or wherever she stores them is worth well over R1 billion. So the kind of questions I have when I hear about that, and I hear about, like you said, you've got so many chairs, the quantity is enormous, you're always buying, you're always selling. One, how do you manage storage? Two, how do you manage inventory and stop people stealing
storage, inventory,
and
is that all the two questions?
And stopping people from stealing, theft and destruction, damage. How do you stop all of that?
Okay, good that you're asking those questions. Storage has been a big challenge for me. When I took over the business, if you're familiar with my office, the architecture of the space is we have the events, the marquee there, and then around behind on the left side we have containers. It wasn't like that 12, 13 years ago when I started. I started with just one container. And then over the years, we've built to about 50 containers. Now the containers are not helping me. It's a huge challenge having those assets in the containers. And we were actually in the process of building a warehouse until COVID came. Actually wanted to build a warehouse. I'm hoping, I don't know, I'm still keeping my fingers crossed to still build that warehouse. Now, so that's about the storage. The storage right now, we use containers, and the containers are labeled, and the assets are stored based on the product types. So if it's Chevrolet chair, I mean, we have about 6 colors of Chevrolet chairs. They are all in separate containers. All the round tables, they're in separate containers. The rectangular tables in separate containers. The tents, we have a huge space where we keep all the tents and the canvases and their poles. Poles are in a different container. And they're labeled using colors. We label them. You know, the decor items, the flowers, they're all in separate containers. The table linens, separate containers like that. The fans, separate. ACs, separate containers. You know, so they're all in various containers. The wires, separate containers. Chandeliers, separate containers like that. So that's the way we've been able to store them using those containers. But personally, I'm not comfortable with the way we're storing them. But in the future, I'm hoping, like I said, to build a warehouse, and then we'll start tagging. We'll start having like tagging each of these assets, having like barcodes on them. When you want to take them out of the warehouse, you scan them. When you want to bring them back as well into the warehouse, you scan them. And then there's a system, it's like your phone. There's a system that is going to record the information. So that's the way I'm thinking for the future. So in terms of inventory, we do inventory like 3 times in a year. How do we do the inventory? We don't take orders for the first few days of the week. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we try not to take orders because the busy days are Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we engage everybody in the organization and we put them in groups. So what we do is we take out, so what we assign team leads for each of the containers, each of the product type. And then we now have another set of people doing a check of those items, because you can count 1,000 chairs 2-3 times and someone can count at 999, another person will count 1,001. So we do double count. That's what we usually do. So we do that, like I said, 3 times in a year. It takes a while to do this because the assets are a lot. It's a lot. Sometimes I beat myself, Kemi, why are you buying all those things? Why are you buying? But you have to be competitive, you have to be relevant. I mean, those are the challenges in this industry. You have to, I mean, I go around the office now and I sometimes I just put my hand on my head. I'm like, God, Kemi, you have assets here. Now COVID has come. COVID has come. But then it's a worldwide issue. It's not limited to only me. And I know it will pass. So I don't get worried about it, So I mean, so I've talked about the inventory. We do that 3 times in a year. And then stealing. Well, in the past, we had people who had stolen from the organization, and I get to know from maybe the employees or people around, what gets to me. Now let me explain the way it is in the warehouse. We have what we had. Now things have changed because it's as if when we get back to real work, it's going to look as if we're starting the business all over again. We have to retrain people because they've been out of work for about 4 or 5 months. It's going to even affect the way they do things. So I've been thinking, and those are things I've been putting in place. How are we going to retrain the staff so that because of the things that they've forgotten in the past? So now you asked about stealing. We have a process in place. That doesn't mean that they will not steal. The process is, in the store, we had about 8 people in the store. Now, those 8 people are the only ones that are allowed. There's always a security man at the warehouse area checking those people. I cannot go into the warehouse, for example. I must write an order paper before items are given to me. There must be a document that must be given to the store supervisor before items are given. So you can't just come and say, oh God, I can't just say, Tolani, go and get me this from the warehouse. No, somebody has to raise an order paper. Now, no one, apart from those people, they know that if any other person enters the warehouse, they're dismissed. The instant dismissal, they're dismissed. So if we're doing a regular order, the front desk has to raise an order paper, give it to security. From security, they take it to the operations. Operations now gives it to the store, assigns a storekeeper, and then they now load. Now, the storekeeper is the responsibility of that storekeeper to ensure that it is what is on the order paper that is loaded into the vehicle. Right. And then the same process is done when they come back, when they've gone to do their retrieval. They check that the items are, of course, they're complete, and if they're missing, they get back to the customer. I've not heard in recent times that anyone has stolen. I mean, I've not heard. But I mean, you never can tell. I mean, they're smarter than us from what I understand, but I've not heard in recent times that any employee of the organization has stolen.
Arun says, and I think this is still around that kind of storage thing, that Arun says, how do you control pipe fittings and the small items? Because those ones must be much harder. There must be so many of them, cables to plugs to bulbs to so many other things. How do you manage that side of things?
You mean so I want to believe the question is directed towards the decor items. Decor items, truth be told, I don't bother myself. That's the truth. I can't for my life do inventory of decor items. Where do I want to start from? Is it flowers I want to count? Or the candles that I want to count? Or the vases? For every time they go out there, it gets broken? I don't bother. I do not bother myself with the decor items. But the big items like the chairs, the tables, those ones, there's no way you cannot but have inventory of them. But decor items, I don't bother, like I said. I have a faint idea of what we have. I mean, we have pro forma invoices. I have a faint idea, but getting an exact figure every time you need them, trust me, that won't work. Not in our environment. It's very tough.
I mean, yes. I can understand and I agree with you. But then how do you know, when now looking at money side of things, yes? How do you know if you're actually making a profit? By that I mean that, okay, imagine a lot of these small items keep disappearing, keep breaking. How do you know if they've made it shelf life? Because I'm sure for most people, and I could be wrong, correct me, if you buy a chair, for you to make its money back, it must have done X amount of rentals. To start going to profit, it must have done X amount of rentals. So how do you keep track of that to be sure that you are actually making money? Or do you just say to yourself, well, at the end of the year, I put 100 million in my account, so I must have made money?
Now you're making me talk about the secrets of the trade here. You should pay me for this, actually, but I'll say it, I'll share it. It's true talk, so I'll share with you. For each of the rental items, I'll talk about the rental. When I say rental items, the big items, the big products. I will now talk about the small products. For the big products, I do a pricing. There's a way I do the pricing. I ask, and we have the accounts department that handles that as well, because every month they have to send me a report of how many times a black Chevrolet has gone out, how many times a clear Chevrolet has gone out, how many times a 20 by 20 has gone out. There are some 20 by 20 that I bought 10 years ago that we are still renting them. So we're just making lose money on those ones. So you can imagine. Do you understand? So every time I get a report every month on how the usage of those assets. So when I do the pricing, so for example, let's say I buy a chair for $25. By the time it gets to Nigeria, it's $100, right? $100 is about, let's even use 360 that I'm used to. Now it's about 460, but let's say 360. So $100 is 36,000 Naira as at before COVID. That was when dollar was 360. Now I'll ask myself, Kemi, how many times do you want to rent out this chair to start before you start making your profit? So you have to determine how long you want to rent out this chair. So you can say the chair that you bought for, let me open up my calculator. So I can say a chair that I bought for, I said 36,000, because you have to look at the cost of the freight and the cost of clearing. So 36,000, I can say I want to rent out that chair 50 times. So 36 divided by 50. So that is 720. 720 is the cost that, I mean, when I say 100 times, that means I've included, of course, I mean, 36,000 is the cost of that chair landing in Nigeria. Now, if I say I want to rent out that chair 100 times, so that's 36,000 times 100. That is 3.6 million, right? That's 100 times. Guess what? You bought that chair at 36,000 Naira. So look at that profit there. But then remember, there's going to be wear and tear.
So that means you write off. You can easily say, in terms of depreciation, in terms of write-off,
depreciation can be 3-4 years. You will determine it, because when I say 100 times, you have 52 weeks in a year. So 100 times is approximately about 2 years. Do you understand? That is when you're sure that you're going to make over 3 point something million on that particular chair. Do you understand? So it's volume here. That, I mean, it's volume. So you have to determine how long you want to make money on a particular product. So I'm interested, of course, I'm interested in the big products like the marquees, the canopies, the chairs, the tables. For example, a table that is 1,000 naira in rental price of a table. I buy that table at $100, 100 times. By the time it gets to Nigeria, is about $200.
So it's about
$200
70,000,
is,
give or take.
that's about
75.
72,000. Now I rent it at 1,000 naira. So you need to rent out that, table 72 times. Do you understand? So the more you use it, of course, there's wear and tear. You have to maintain the tables. You need to maintain them. There are times that after a particular, maybe after 3-4 years of depreciation, you can discard them and do like a yard sale. We do that from time to time, and then the profit also comes, it's like loose, I call it loose fund, comes back to the organization. But when it comes to the decor items, I'm very careful about the decor pieces. So for example, because most of them are quite cheap, the decor pieces are quite cheap, So if you buy something for, let's say $10, $10 is time, that's about 3,500. I might rent that item at that cost, at that $10. So invariably, if I hold on to it for 5 times, I'm still making profit. But then if it goes out and it gets broken, I know that I've lost the cost with that rental. But most of the time when I'm doing the costing of the rental, I do it like ×2. By the time it goes out 2 times, I would have made the money off it for most of this rental items, because they're the small pieces. The small pieces. Linens, for example, linens are the table covers. If, for example, I buy table cover for 25, because I love beautiful things, I don't buy the cheap stuff. So if I'm buying a linen for, let's say, whatever, $25, $30, there's some that are as high as $50. Now I've had linens of over 10 years. If I bring them out, because we launder them, we take care of them, so you're just remaking money. But some people will tell you, but you've had it for so long. But then we maintain it. That's the difference. Yeah. We maintain it. We maintain it. We maintain it. It's not just like, I'm sorry to say, not the way and that's why I always tell people, please do not compare my company with other company, because I know the effort, the time, the sweat I put into the business. It is this business, I live this business. It's all my life, People call me hustler Kemi. I don't know why I'm a hustler, but I love to work. I enjoy what I do, and I put in my best into it. I really do put in my best into it,
So Simply Event says, when buying a range of chairs, do you buy a large number at once, or do you buy a small quantity, and if the demand is high, you then go and buy more?
Well, that varies. That question varies. So there are times that, because I want to be competitive, I want a situation whereby they say, where can we get large quantity of chairs from? They will say, call KFA, because they know they can get it from us. So there's some chairs that, like white chair or gold color, gold especially, because gold is like a common color that most people use. I have them in like thousands like that, or over 1,000. There's some chairs like the farm chair, for example. There's this beautiful farm chair that I got last year. When I first bought the chair, I bought 500 pieces of it, but the demand was so high, I had to go buy additional 500 because of the demand. People love the chair. It's rustic, it's beautiful. So it depends on, you have to test the market. Sometimes before I buy things as well, I share amongst our commonly with our customers to find out from them, do you like this chair? Do you think it's something that would sell? I do surveys like that. I just pick about 10 random people, send it to them, and they'll be like, oh, yes, no, don't buy, and things like that. So that helps me and propels me to buy. There's some chairs that are very expensive that maybe the cost price is about $45, $50. I buy like 100 or buy 200 pieces, but I don't have anything less than 100. Most of the chairs are from 500, 1,000, and then the ones that we've had for so long, maybe like the Chivery chairs, when they break, I reorder parts for them. I reorder more for them, because we have to discard. When they get broken, I have to replace them. So that's why I said the rental business is really capital intensive. So you don't think, yes, you make money, but for me, at the back of my mind, I try not to think of the money part, because I know that you will always make money. But I look at the value. What value am I bringing to the table? What value would it cost if a customer comes to you? What would they say about your brand? What would they say about your business? Can they go to sleep when they're using your services? Those are all the things that come to play. Yes, you may have all the assets. What if I have all the assets and I have the worst attitude? Would customers come to me? They won't come to me. So if you're blending a good service with good products, you endear people to you. You'll be as warm as possible to your customers so that they will always come. And those are the things that have really helped me. Many people, I try to tell people, many people don't even know me as Kemi. They know KFA, which is fine. I'm happy with that. I'm completely happy with that. Know the brand. Know that once you use that brand, you can go to sleep.
So,
and people have said it.
You bring up the thing about nice customer service. Okay, so I'm going to now reveal my own little secret.
Yes.
I came to Nigeria in 2013. Okay. I moved back to Nigeria in 2013. And then, of course, as I'm setting up Mahogany, I'm looking around, who are the vendors to use, who are the vendors to this, and who are the vendors to that. And in the process of talking, KFA's name came up. I didn't know KFA. I'd never heard of the company. I didn't know you. I didn't know anything. However, for the first, and I'm being upfront with you, for the first 5 years of being in Nigeria, I refused to do business with KFA. I'm telling you. And I'll tell you why. And this is why it's important to know. And this is what I love about True Talk. I kept getting very, very negative feedback about KFA. It was feedback about you, or I don't know whether it was feedback about who was running it before you, because I don't know.
Yeah, I've always run the business.
Okay, but the general attitude is that, if you go to KFA, they can just decide that they're not doing, and they'll just pack up their stuff and go. They can do this, they can do that, they can do this. Their stuff is not this, their stuff is not that, their stuff is not that. Now, as a new person, yes.
I feel so bad.
I couldn't take that risk. Do you understand? I couldn't take that risk. The first time that we now changed our mind about KFA, believe it or not, and my Gigi may correct me, she might have used you before, but for me, when I now felt, okay, this KFA, what I heard though is not the case. You did a job for Union Bank. This was about 3 years ago at Harbour Point.
I can't even remember.
You won't remember anyway. But you did a job there. And the job, as far as I was concerned, was good. And from that moment on, I now said to my gig, I said to my team, add KFA to our list of vendors. Let's be using them going forward. Then, of course, there's our earlier relationship.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
But it's like, I'm trying to put it actually into a question as opposed to just.
You've said it so well. Can I address what you've said? Nigerians, I've come to realize that Nigerians don't like processes. They do not like processes, and they misconstrue having processes to being tough. I've had a lady, she sent me a message recently. She said, Kemi, she wanted me to be appoint president. And I told her I am not interested in being appoint president. My hands are full now. And she goes, Kemi, do you know that the first time before I came over to your office, do you know that I'd heard negative things about you? And then when I came to the office, I was shocked. Like, is that the Kemi that they've talked about? But you know the truth of the matter, you can't please everyone. I know myself, and I'm so true to myself, and I'm so true to the business. When I say to the business, I have integrity. I will not cut corners to make money for KFA. Let the work we do speak for us, which has always been the case. You know, I mean, I'm thankful. When I say I'm thankful to God, Mr. Magege, Mr. Oyebade, I'm so thankful to God that it's God that I told you we usually receive like 50, 60 orders in a week. Can you beat that? 60 different customers coming to rent from you. It's not me. I mean, I just feel it's the hard work. It's the work we put into it. I'm putting in processes. I mean, I was chatting with someone, I think about 2 weeks ago on WhatsApp. You know, now I started advertising a lot on WhatsApp. And I saw a message I'd sent to this person in 2018 where she wanted rentals for, maybe she sent me a message on a Thursday and I told her we were closed. I was just smiling to myself that, oh my goodness, 2017, I told her we're closed. Now, if you call me, I'll rush to take the order from you. Do you know, it was so funny? But you say, if you don't put in those processes, you find out that I've had experiences of people calling me on the day of the event, 2 hours or even an hour to the event. KFA, we want this now. And I tell them we can't do it. Guess what? There's a reason for that. Now, if customers come in or their friends come in and they see the company just bringing in items, they won't know what would have happened. They will say, oh, maybe they're always late.
Yes, that's
that is
right.
the company that was late, not knowing that it's even the client that delayed.
Right.
So people, you say, I've studied the market well. I understand this business. I understand the way the mind works in this country. You say, money doesn't move me. And that's the truth. Money does not move me. From the business, you will make money. There's no doubt about it. You will make money if you give people what they want. But people will always say negative things about, I mean, I feel so bad that for 5 years, you came into the country, you heard negative things about us. And number one, you did not call me well, maybe because you didn't know me. I think we just started becoming close last year, you know, because we went in the US together last year, you know. And you know, and then I started working with, I mean, I work with your wife in Chevron, you know, I mean, and it's been a fantastic, I mean, your wife is an amazing person. I mean, that's even by the way, but she's amazing to the core, you know, and she loves me. I don't know why she loves me. She has this affinity for me, you know, and, you know, people just say negative things, so you cannot please everyone. But I know within myself that I try my best to do things right. You know, we just try to be flexible. We try. So for example, we have rules. When we're sending you quotations, the rules are there. Most people don't even read those rules. So for example, we come over to your location to do a setup, and then you're asking us for additional order. Trust me, there's a process. Now, maybe that vehicle is even going to another location, another customer's location. If we're late, nobody will understand that it's from one, you know, buru buru in Yoruba, it's from one place to the other. And I always tell people, it goes beyond that money. That service, if you're sure you're going to get it, I want, like I said, I want peace of mind. I don't want anybody calling me on the phone and abusing me that you've collected my money and then you've not done my delivery well. I do not want it. I'd rather not take that money. I'm not interested in it. But if you take your money, it is my responsibility as the face of the organization to ensure that we have the processes in place back end to ensure that the orders are done well and done. I mean, on Mondays, we always call the customers for a feedback. We need the feedback. We need that feedback because that's what has propelled us. I mean, we are not perfect, and I'm not saying we're perfect here. We make mistakes, but it's those mistakes that we work on every week to, you know, to ensure that we don't repeat those mistakes, you know. So
I mean,
that's it.
You know, this is true talk. I like to bring it up. I mean, it's not been a problem for me. It's not been a problem for anybody else. As Mahogany, we have exactly the same problem. Where people will come and say, we did this, we did that, we don't do this, we don't do that. It's the industry. And one of the things that I found in life is that if you're not successful or you're not doing well, nobody talks about you. You don't talk about non-entities. You talk about people that are making it or doing something in society. People always want to bring you down or find something negative or whatever to say about you. One of the things that I love about you is this, Kemi, is when it comes to diversification, I can't even keep track. When I first saw you or met you, I said, KFA, okay, they're the ones that do marquees. Somebody, which one is marquees? No, they do chairs. I said, which one is chairs? No, they do printing. I said, hey, Jesus. No, which one is printing? They have an event center. I said, okay, she does many things. You have your print haven, you have your rental, you have your event space. Why do you diversify so much? Because some people in business practices, some people say, get yourself one main business and one subsidiary. You have a number of different businesses tied together. Why?
The businesses that you've mentioned, they're intertwined, they're interrelated, and they're all under the umbrella of events, really, when you think about it. The Print Avon is run by my younger sister. We're just two children, and she's a medical doctor, but she decided to run that aspect of the business. Now, we started with the event space. From the event space, my mom was doing rentals, but she was really doing the rentals on a low scale, you know. So I now took it to another level with the rentals. And I told you 5 years ago, I started doing the design. And the reason for doing all this is because I'm trying to save money, trying to get money for my project. Told myself I am not going to go to the bank to get a loan for my project. So I had to diversify into all this, and all the returns from the business I was reinvesting in the business. Because really, how do you make money? I'm not a politician. I mean, I need to work. I need to work so hard to get this money. Do you understand? So it's by me renting. That's all I know how to really do. Renting, income comes in, and then I save it because, like I said, I want to do a project, and I'm not going to go to the bank. And I'm still maintaining that I will not go to the bank because I want to sleep well at night, really. So that's why I diversify, and I enjoy it, really. And then we have people spearheading each of the departments. Well, that was before COVID. Hopefully we'll get back to it. I'm open. I'm giving myself maybe 6 months to 1 year. We'll get back to where we were before, and even better.
Amen.
And even better.
Amen to that. Amen to that.
Yeah.
Kemi, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Can you give us 30 more minutes of your time? Or
yes.
Are you busy? Because
no, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm enjoying this.
And this is your knowledge, what you're doing. I think people, if you're with me, I can see people sending love hearts. They're saying that they definitely want you back. So in a few minutes, I'm going to take you off, and then we'll come straight back. Everybody will come and join us again.
Okay.
All right. This has been a fantastic session with Kemi from KFA. We're still going to grill her more. I've got some juicy questions that I still want to give you. Guys, can we have your questions ready? A lot of your association people, a lot of events people are on here, events companies from different parts of the world, not just from Nigeria here. They're listening to what you're saying. I can see from the love hearts, the thumbs up, on all the different things that they're absolutely loving what you're saying. So, Kemi, we're going to go off now, guys, just for a few minutes, okay? I'm going to love you back on. Please do not disappear.
All right.
We're going to go for part 2, 30 more minutes.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
So, guys, join me straight back. We're going to come back on again. We're going to go to part 2, but I really want your questions, okay? Give me your questions. What do you want to ask her? This is a rare opportunity that you get a chance to ask Kemi anything that you want to know about the business and how things work. Yes, I can see all of her Presido people are here. So, guys, we're just going to log off now for a few seconds and log you back in again, all right? See you in a second.